biochemistry and molecular biology. I've had Mr. Guy for the past 3 years for honors pre-calculus, calculus AB, and calculus BC. And what really stood out about his class to me is specifically how his classroom environment works. He's not just lecturing to us, and we're not just like taking notes. Every time we're learning something new, it's an active discussion, and everyone's participating. And especially during last year, my calculus BC class, like even though 40 people signed up, for some reason my class only got 10 people. And so, because that class was so small, we were really able to build some good bonds between everyone, and that really helps in learning. And Mr. Bell was a key part of that. And even though this is his last year teaching, as he goes on to be an assistant principal at Cherokee, I'm really glad that I got to be a part of his last year. Thank you.
I'm going to have to read a little bit more as a math teacher. The words just don't naturally happen. Like I said, my name is Casey Dodd, and I've had the honor to teach Carson the last 3 years pre-calc and both levels of AP Calculus. Our first year together was cut short due to COVID, so we had to finish that one up digitally. And then our second year was the year of quarantines, where we didn't know who would be in class, who wouldn't be in class, and we just kind of made it work. And then this year was a little bit more normal, but let's be honest, how normal is taking AP Calculus BC in high school? So we did what we could. I've never met a student like Carson. One that has the most natural ability in mathematics I've ever seen. Having the opportunity to teach some of the brightest minds at our school has truly been a blessing, but it also brings a level of pressure. Being our school's only AP Calculus teacher, I would have to create my own test from scratch, typing them up each time, every year, making them new so that they're not passing them in the next year. And of course, I would do all that hoping I didn't make any typos or mistakes. So, as any good teacher would, you make an answer key. And as any great teacher probably knows, you find that student in your class that you can compare your answers to make sure you did not mess up. And Carson was my student. I had him in third period, and I had Lexi in fifth period, so I kind of got to just try it out there and had a gap of space to fix it before I got the next group, so it all works out. But it kind of got tiring making answer keys, so I just started just taking Carson's test and putting that next to everyone else's. It just made life so much easier for me. During class discussions and work sessions, students would work on problems around the room. But in humble fashion, Carson would allow them to all have their input, attempt the problem, and kind of sit back and observe while his peers may have struggled more than he did. After they struggled enough, normally they would just turn to him, kind of give him the look of, well, your turn, like, what do we do? And he would give them the guidance, explaining, of course, perfectly, and a lot better than I would, how to do it, helping his peers so that not only that they would learn, but he would learn along with it. He thinks in ways that no one else does, and I think that's what makes him special and what our world needs, that people that think outside the box, even though we think we have mastered something, we think we know something, he brings a new light to the room. It started at a young age for Carson. I got to share this story earlier. It was at Disney World. He was 2. He didn't know. I was standing in front of him in Disney World, and he turned to his dad and he said, "Do you know 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9? And he does that at 2. So clearly he had the ability mathematically at a really young age. And he didn't know that was there, but just hearing that, I'm like, I hope I get to do like that. And then it was in the 4th grade. He was his class treasurer in 4th grade. His best friend was the class president. And they've been best friends, and they had class together this year. They've been together since y'all were really little. He was the president. He came home, told his mom, I want to impeach him. And he does that at 4th grade. Your best friend, who you're still friends with. But that's because Carson sees things differently. He wants to make things better when he can, and even if it is his best friend, he wants to improve on anything that he does. You might not know this, but your younger sister Macy, my wife actually teaches. She kind of helped me with a little bit of these stories. I asked her, I said, have you ever had that urge to kind of get your brother back, all the golden moments of it, she's like, yes, here's your chance. So she got to fill me a little bit more stories. And then we got to have a luncheon today at school, and his parents filled me with even more stories, but we don't have time to go through all of them. But because of his natural ability in the classroom, his care for those around him, he is one special young man. And being my last year teaching, he's definitely made it a reward. So Carson, you're great to grace me as a PA.